Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman Returns Batman Deluxe Theatrical Edition. Oh, there's nothing on the side this time. What about this side? Batman Returns. Alright, so this is being heralded as like the best live-action Batman that they've made. I don't know if that's the case. It's a good one, and it's not all the way good, though. We're going to talk about the good and the bad, because you guys deserve to have all of the information before you decide to buy it. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, let me show you my package. It is not the same as normal DC McFarlane packaging, but it is nice. The blue and black isn't maybe as nice looking as having some more of the white on there, but it still looks nice, and it's got some shiny parts on it. And this figure costs $35, which is just a whole bunch for a McFarlane figure. That's fine on the side. The back, it's, you know, like the thing we've seen a million times. I don't know if that helps anybody to want to buy this, but that's the image. Alright, so yeah, packaging is fine, but $35, and that's going to be a key feature of this figure. $35. Alright, well, he is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. If you want to get one, I'll put a link in the description below. He stands about 18.7 to the top of the head, closer to 19.5 to the ears. And that's going to be about 7 and 3/8, and then 7 and 5/8, give or take. Here he is up against the Marvel Legends Darwin, clearly out of scale. I do have the video a little bit brighter because he is basically just bare black PVC, and that doesn't film super well. So hopefully it doesn't look too bad, and you can see enough of the figure. Now let's do a question of the day. Do you think McFarlane has released a figure that's worth $35 that's not a mega figure? I don't think so. This is not in any way a special release at all. There's no justification for the price point. This is not a deluxe figure, unless we're going with the argument that it has new parts, which is not a good argument because almost every toy company has to release figures with new parts without charging 50% more for the figure. So that's an issue. I'm going to say right off the bat, nowhere close to a $35 figure. The rest of the review will be based on whether or not it is even good for a regular price point for McFarlane toys. Now, I have to say, it does generally look pretty decent, and the less you look at it, the better. And I don't mean that in a funny way. It is kind of funny, and true in a funny way, but if you're not looking at it with a super discerning eye, it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty nice. The closer you look at it, though, and this is almost always the case, but this one in particular, the worse it looks. Particularly the proportioning and the head. This does not look like Michael Keaton in particular. It's close-ish, but like that's not the way he's built, really. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not right. This looks like just generic body number 1 with the suit features, suit details from the movie. And then if we look at the head, it's just not even close in the small details. It almost looks like Val Kilmer. It does not look like Keaton. It doesn't have the right head shape, it doesn't have the right eyes, it doesn't have the right mouth. It doesn't look like that. And I know you can't really see much here, but you can see the difference in the eyes. It's not even a little bit right. His eyes here are too narrow and too small. The mouth shape is not the recognizable Michael Keaton mouth, and it's a very big mouth. I mean, relatively speaking, he's got kind of a narrow mouth. It just doesn't look right. So if you look up close, you're like, that's wrong. You wouldn't know if you just saw this head, unless you're like a super aficionado of the specific helmet details. It's not really a helmet, cowl. You wouldn't know that that's supposed to be Michael Keaton. So yeah, it's not right. It's probably good enough for people who aren't going to look too close, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. Many people don't look that close. They just want something that's pretty close, and that's good enough, and that's fine. But these reviews are to give you all of the information. The suit details, they're close. They're not particularly accurate in terms of proportioning and things, but they're close enough that, again, if you're not trying to be discerning, you'll probably be fine with it. The painted bat logo is nicely done. It's painted and sculpted, so that's good. The belt has a little bit of extra care to it in that there's 2 different golds. But the rest is just bare PVC. Where's the deluxe part? So I'm not going to complain about the price, but then putting the label deluxe on this is still, that's nuts. The cape, it's the same Barbie material they've been using, so it's a matte finish on the front, and on the back it's shiny. I didn't think to check if he had a shiny cape. I forgot that McFarlane put shiny capes on things. I doubt it was shiny in the movie, so there's that. He did have a shorter cape in this movie. Is it this short? I don't know. Especially the way this material hangs, it's hard to say. But we do have a wired cape that looks decent if you're okay with the metallic look, but it doesn't look right, especially around the chest. You can see how it like goes up to the neck in a weird way. Yeah, it's fine, but it's not a deluxe figure. This is a run-of-the-mill McFarlane figure. This is no more deluxe than any other figure they've released in any way. Maybe they had to pay more to make it, but that doesn't make it a deluxe figure. So for a McFarlane figure, this is just like an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good, but it's not that good. It's fine. Now, as far as accessories go, you do get the 2 fist hands, which we actually haven't had in a while, so that's nice. And then you get I guess it's like a battering hand and a grapnel gun hand, so that's alright. You do get the grapnel gun, which looks pretty good, and the battering, which looks super chunky, but it's okay. And then you get the DC display stand and the card, which are worth about nothing. So, Deluxe? No. This is run-of-the-mill accessories. 7 out of 10, I guess. 7 out of 10, because it's probably enough. Alright, and now it's time for the articulation. Maybe this thing poses really well, and that's where they come up with that idea of calling it a deluxe figure. Good thing about this figure is they did the cowl more movie accurate, so he doesn't have the break from the head to the neck. That does make him look better. However, they just gave it a swivel, which, again, I get it shouldn't be able to move at all. I mean, maybe the tiniest bit, but it doesn't, you can't even make it lean. So they didn't take any liberty, even where they do have the cut. They could have made it lean. They didn't do that. And they could have given it articulation and just make it look right, and they didn't do that either. So they might as well have just made it a solid piece and made it look even better, because it basically just can rotate a little bit. Which, again, if you're going for movie accuracy, I get it. But these are action figures, and they can definitely do better. The cape is wired with a nice heavy wire, though the wire does run straight through, so you're going to have to play with it a little bit to get it to work. That's kind of an irritating thing that this side moves with this side, but it's not a big deal. And it is a heavy wire, so it works well enough, so that's fine. For the shoulders, you get decent play in that ball peg up there, so that's alright. Bringing the arms up to better than horizontal, that's going to be fine. Full rotation, no problem. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbows, still ugly elbows. McFarlane has not figured out how to do joints yet, which is just weird. Wrists are on ball hinges, that's fine. Let's see about the torso. Maybe the torso's great, and that's the deluxe feature on this figure. We'll do both joints at once. He leans back, it looks good. That's actually really nice. No sarcasm. That's decent. That's pretty good. Let's see, can he go to the side? We're going to save going to the front for last. Going to the side works well enough for sure. Will it go to the front? I'm laying odds it doesn't barely at all go to the front. I don't know. This is new to me. I wanted to save this for you guys so you get my honest reaction. Will it go to the front? No. Nope, not even really enough to make it look like we even tried. Why? That's nuts. That is wild. You do get your waist twist, of course. Your hips go out to the side. Basically full-on splits. No real nuggets. I mean, there's no nuggets, but full-on splits. So that's... Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Almost full-on splits, no nuggets, that's okay. A little bit of looseness, though, for sure, in the leg. Going forward, yeah, the diaper's just too... They need to cut it more out by the peeper and at the top of the thigh. You can force it and get his leg up to there. Forcing it more than that will stretch the PVC. You don't want to do that. I always get somebody saying, you're meant to stretch the PVC. It's like... Okay, well, I don't want white lines on my figure, so you can do what you want. I'm not going to stretch the PVC past its point of being okay. They did do a good job back here for the most part, making the cake look decent when he's posed, but that's probably because the leg doesn't go that far. Thigh swivel, basically non-existent. Double jointed knee, one of their better looking knees, not too bad. Proportioning is much better, that's good. I think this figure would look better if his legs were just a little bit shorter, and his arms too. He's kind of gangly. I'll come back to the articulation in a second. It's got that same problem a lot of McFarlane figures have, where they're a little bit lanky, especially since Keaton's a short guy. Yeah, he's a little bit gangly. His arms a little bit long, even if we hike him up. The arms are just a little bit long, and the legs are probably a little bit long too, and the torso's a little bit small. This is built more like a comic book character, like a coloring book version of this suit, and I guess that's really the best way to describe it. Alright, back to the articulation. The ankles go all the way back and all the way forward. This is a soft piece on the front. I like that. It's still heavily ratcheted. It's super annoying, but it does work. And then you get your ankle rocker, which is nice. And then the toe hinge. Let's see. It looks good. It's well placed. It's pretty stiff. Yeah, that's a decent toe hinge. It's not absolutely perfect, but that's pretty good. So his articulation's all right. Articulation and all right. I had so much caffeine today, guys. I am just bouncing and I'm not speaking well. I apologize about that. It's pretty good articulation. I'll give it a I have to go 7. The head doesn't work, and I get that it's not supposed to in some ways, but they could have made it work, even if they didn't change much but make the neck lean. That would help. These are action figures after all, so I doubt Michael Keaton could do the splits, and this can, so we can argue that he should be able to move his neck. So yeah, it's not great, but it's probably good enough for most people. So now it's time for the final verdict. Is this some kind of crazy good release? Well, we're going to go back to the price point. Now, no, definitely not. Even at a normal price point, this isn't something exceptional. It's certainly good enough. At a regular McFarlane price point, 8.5 out of 10 overall, for sure. But in order to give it an accurate review, we have to consider the price point and the cake. So let's talk about the cake. They did a pretty good job with the cake. It's nicely shaped, not the most mass, but it does work well enough, so I'll give them a 7 for cake. And now we get to do the final rating with the price point included. For $35, this is not enough. It's a bare PVC figure with a questionable cape and acceptable articulation and accessories. There's nothing special about this. It's not worth $35. I'll be generous, super generous, and say 7 out of 10 for $35 because it's fine. Once you pose it, it looks better. The less you look at it up close, it looks better. But this is not some kind of exceptional release. It's not deluxe, nor is it worth $35. $25, much higher rating, but it doesn't have that. It doesn't have that price point. And we have to be fair here to my audience, not to McFarlane. They chose to charge too much and call it deluxe when there is nothing deluxe about it. So it is nice that the cape comes out the front this way, but it also is kind of annoying the way they've connected it. It looks weird. So yeah, it's not a special release. It's good enough. If you want this, you'll probably be okay. You'll be able to justify the price point. I always tell people there's a difference between an overpriced figure that you want to own and an overpriced figure that's not good. I'm definitely more willing to pay too much for a figure if the figure at least is good enough, if it suits my needs. A lot of figures we see these days are overpriced and bad. This isn't bad, it's just not anything special. So that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but I'll be done there. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.